have been asked, what is the first video that I made actually intending to put it on YouTube rather than just messing about? That's a good question. I've also been asked what my favourite, my best make is, in my view. And also, which one have I been putting off so much I still haven't done it and should make a video on it. Anyway, if there's anything else you'd like to add to the something list, I can feel a series coming on. Right, one of my very early videos was a total beginner's one, because I was too a total beginner at that time, and it featured a little heart mould. This isn't the actual one. It's long since died a death, the original, but this is very similar. And I think this was just from Amazon. The other thing it featured was some glitter. Now, I haven't got that glitter anymore either. And of course, things have moved on. My kit's got upgraded a bit since then. So I have got this beautiful one called Soulful from Create and Bloom Crafts. But in the original one, it was a white-based glitter with holographics in. So that would be similar but better. I've also got some jewellery findings. Now, these were cheap off Amazon. And the ultraviolet curing resin that I use nowadays, this is actually the Resin one. And the reason I'm using this one at the moment is, one, it's really good. And two, I've been sent a couple of absolutely huge bottles of it. Now, if you do an awful lot of ultraviolet resin work, you might want to have a look at the Resin website, because there aren't many suppliers of really good quality ultraviolet curing resin that do it in whacking great bottles. As you can see, I've dispensed it into this little plastic bottle that I got from Amazon. I bought a few of these because the big bottles are just too big to handle. But by golly, if I was having to buy a lot of ultraviolet curing resin, that wouldn't have saved some money, because it's just huge. As long as you remember to keep them where the sun isn't going to hit them. They do come in black bottles, but if you leave the top off, obviously it's not going to do it a lot of good. It'll start to cure. Anyway, there's that. Back then as well, I had an assortment of little torches for the ultraviolet light. This wouldn't have been one of them, because those are all long since gone to the ultraviolet torch in the sky graveyard. But it would have been something similar to this. This one's quite a powerful one, and it's a USB rechargeable, and it's dirt cheap from Amazon. And as you can see, it's been well used and loved. So we're going to make me a pendant, and this actually is for me. I'm going to zoom you back in. The other thing I've gained since then, I hope, is more editing skills. Nice purple mats. Now, one thing I've learned since I made those originals is that it's really helpful to put a little thin layer in here first. If you notice, my lighting is a little bit different to usual. I am in the kitchen using a different light stand that I'm trialling and mightily impressed with, but I am getting a few shadows, I noticed, so I need to do something about that. It's just too hot in the craft room, and with me full of the aftermath of a cold, I'm really struggling to handle that. Now, the reason I'm putting the clear in first is that it will then form a clear layer between the glittery layer and the front of the mould. And that will just make the glitter pop even more. So we're just going to cure that. Doesn't need to be completely cured, so I'll just give it a couple of seconds. So that's our first layer. Now, the next layer we want to do is actually get the glitter in. So I've got myself a little wooden stick. I was using a lot of wooden sticks back then. Zoom back out a bit. I was using a lot of wooden sticks back then for stirring things. It can cause more bubbles, so I don't tend to use the wooden sticks as much nowadays. But with small volumes like this, generally it's not a problem. And for this sort of thing, it's quite easy to use the stick as a bit of a dispenser as well for your glitter. We can put a bit more in. There we are. Now, going to mix this up. This glitter is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. As I said, it's from Create and Bloom. Lovely British business based in the Cotswolds. And I'm loving the colours and glitter from there. We're just going to shovel it in. But because we've already got that layer of clear on the front, it will magnify the glitter effect. And I've mixed a bit too much, so I might do something else with what's left, because that is all it needed. Now, what I've done is I've domed the back very slightly, because that will then mean there shouldn't be any sharp edges to have to sand off. So I'm going to cure that as it is. Tell you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to make a glittery blob, because you never know when you're going to need a glittery blob. Because if it just cures in the pot, I'll end up just pulling it out and doing nothing with it. Whereas a glittery blob on my mat might be useful for something. Didn't do this in the original video either. Obviously, I'm a lot more confident and got more silly ideas about stuff I can do with things nowadays. So that might form the centre of something. I might cut it into a shape. It's a blob. Just a blob. That's all. There we are. Right, ultraviolet curing light. If there were any bubbles that came up in this, I would be running a torch across it. But to be honest, this resin doesn't tend to cause bubbles. When I say torch, a long neck lighter. I've also got something else interesting to show you in this video. Here comes a surprise. So I'll show you that in a moment. Right, something you must remember to do when you're using ultraviolet curing resin, that side's cured really well, is also cure it from the other side. Now, the reason for this is simply that the light needs to get all the way through it to cure it. If you've overloaded it with glitter or colour particularly, you're going to need to cure it from the other side, because that glitter or colourant might be stopping the light from going through it and curing. So give it a good zap from both sides, a couple of minutes each side, should be well and truly cured. If you are also doing a lot of ultraviolet curing resin stuff, people have asked me a lot about the ultraviolet curing lamps, bigger ones. I am totally in love with a whole Let's Resin range of lamps. I've got one of their ones that comes up at an angle, like it unfolds. That's absolutely superb. It's one of their new ones. I've got the one that looks like a flying saucer, UFO in a big dish one. I've got the double-sided one. They're awesome. All right, let's see if we can just make sure this is cured as well. Don't forget, you can easily put far too much colour in your ultraviolet curing resin. There we go, look at that. So the light doesn't pass through. Is this done? Yeah, you see, look, the light has stopped passing through there because basically I'd put too much glitter in it. And that is why you need to zap from the back. This isn't too bad because it's a light coloured glitter. And it's probably got some sort of translucence to it. So I'll peel that all off later. That's done. That. Oops. So I'll get that off in a bit. Right. Now, the other thing we can do, and I'll zoom you in for this again. Zoom you. Can I zoom? Gloves on? Oh, there we go. This is a flat mould. We've got our clear layer on the front, which has magnified the glitter, but it's dead flat. Now, I want this to be domed. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of the ultraviolet curing resin on the top, on what is now the top. You can do it on the back as well if you want. And you can do this with a micro brush or a cocktail stick or something like a toothpick, something like that. And that's just pull a thin layer of that resin around the surface to create a dome. And the surface tension, if you don't overdo it, the surface tension should just hold that in place. And that, again, will give you a nice rounded top, take away your sharp edges, and magnify the glitter even more. We'll have a look at this in a minute, but I'm going to do the back as well. So that's that side done. I might as well do the back as well. So this is also the alternative to putting that clear layer in first. You could just rely on the domed layer. That also works. I just like to do it this way because you get effectively a double domed effect. I've got a lot more confidence and just put the ultraviolet resin straight out of that narrow nozzle. So what we're going to do then is drill a little hole in it and turn it into a pendant. But first, I have that surprise for you. Let's put this to one side. And this is the surprise. You've seen this before. Zoom back out of it. Soft type resin. Now, this is how it works. Let's say we want to make another one of those. So in with the clear, let it run around a little bit. Now I make phone cases sometimes, just for myself, with these soft ultraviolet curing resins. And oh, by the way, let me know if you want me to make a video showing you how I do that. But I hadn't tried the Let's Resin one before. And they dropped me a line and said, would you like to try it? Thank you, Let's Resin. You seem to have inadvertently been sponsoring this video with the two different sorts of ultraviolet resin. Of course, I said yes. So here it is. I'm not going to bother with the glitter this time, but I do want to show you something quite neat that you can do with it in a minute. That's got a couple of bubbles in it. I'm not going to worry. Let's just cure it. So this is called a soft type. What we normally buy is the hard type, isn't it? So let's see what this does. Right, I'm going to let that cool. And I'm going to show you something that you can do with this stuff while it's cooling. Watch this. That's quite a big run of the resin. I'm going to pull it into a kind of line. This is where you can let your imagination go crazy, because I'm not going to tell you what to do with this. This is just a what if. We're going to cure that. Probably could have done with my bigger lamp for this bit. Right, while that's cooling down, let's get this little guy out. I want to show you how bendy this is. Yeah, proper bendy. Now, if you try to bend it while it's still hot, while it's just after it's cured, there's a good chance it'll snap. But once you've let it cool, that's it. And it just doesn't go harder. Now, this was my thought for this. So I made this strip. All nice and bendy. It's got the texture of the mat on the back, so don't mind that. It should be clear. Now, watch if, let's say I want to make that into a ring. So let's cut it, because you can. It's going to be a big fat misshapen ring. Let's cut it. It's very cuttable, which is weird, isn't it? Got a bit of glitter in it as well, I see. So there we go. We've got our strip. Now, let's say I want to make that into a complete loop. So I'm not joining the ends neat or anything. I'm just not worrying that much about it. But let's say for whatever reason I want to make a loop. This isn't going to be at all neat. Let's get this side stuck. Now we've got a weird little shape. Now what you can do, because this obviously is going to be bendy, because we've used the bendy stuff. Sorry, soft type. So that's stuck really well. It's bendy, it's wonky. It doesn't really matter what it is, does it? Now what I'm going to do is decide that I want it to be oval. So we're going to get the normal resin, go around the inside in this case, because this is the hard type. Right, put it like that and squash it. And there you've got your oval. You've frozen it in that position. Now, of course, if you're doing something proper with it, I'm sure you'd tidy it up. Like, do some of these. But imagine, you can twist it. So you could make twisty earrings with it. You could do all sorts. So this little piece is now completely rigid. That's what we normally would expect from some ultraviolet curing resin, isn't it? And now, so is this. You've fixed that shape. That's not a very exciting shape. Shall we do something more interesting? What I want to do is I'm going to get some of the bendy resin. Sorry, must stop calling it bendy resin. Some of our beautiful glitter in it. And I'm going to try that twist. If I make quite a long piece, it's quite big so you can see, but if you can imagine doing this, be fiddly, but if you can imagine doing this with a small piece that was going to be for jewellery or whatever, or to make a wave, or I don't know, I think you could do all sorts with it. You weren't expecting this from this video, were you? This is the bonus of people who actually watch all the way through. Now this is going to take a while to cure. Right, so that should be cured. Let's pick it up. Nice and bendy. Oh, a bit underneath, isn't? See, this is the problem with glitter blocking it, and this is why you always want to use a translucent or transparent mould so that you can do the zapping it from the other side too trick. I'm not going to trim this or anything, just because. Right, we're going to twist it into this shape. Now, what you could do with this, of course, is make a hole through the end, and you've got a hair clip, haven't you? Put a spike through it, so, but you are going to need this to be rigid to do so. So, coat it with the normal hard type on the back. Sure, this would be easier with the big double-sided UV lamp, by the way. But basically, all you're doing is once you've got your shape that you want, is you're going to fix it. And I want this to be this shape. Now, all UV resin does tend to be a little bit bendy when it's first cured. So all ultraviolet curing resin is bendy while it's still hot, but you can see, although it's still got a bit of boing to it, it's held its shape. Interesting. Is this giving you some ideas? If we do a direct comparison, let's do this blob again. In fact, let's put some glitter in it too. Let's have the actual blob. Let's duplicate the blob. I could really have done we're doing this on a white background or a clear so that the light would pass through. But there we go. There's a blob. Let's cure that. I'm sure this won't have cured on the back. No, it hasn't cured on the back. So exactly the same. Just too much glitter stopping the light passing through. And of course I've got the purple matte underneath. Let's cure that up. I'm going to leave it 5 minutes to cool so we can see what the difference in how these two behave. There we are. And they're about the same thickness as well. Right, I'll be back with you shortly. So they've cooled down. Now this is completely rigid. That's the normal resin. And bendy. I'm sure you can think of a load of uses of that, especially as you can then fix it in that bent position like this has by applying the normal resin over the top. Anyway, that was a bit of an aside. I was going to show you this, wasn't I? Let me make this into a necklace. Now, obviously, I've made a sticky mess here, so let's see if we can move to a clean bit. There's a cleaner bit. Not too bad. Right. Let's pull you back out a little bit, though. There we are. Now, we've got our little heart. Isn't it adorable? What we need to do is turn this into a necklace. And the easiest way to do that is to put a bail on it. I'm just giving it an extra little bit of a zap. By the way, apologies if anybody spotted the state of my nails. I know they're overdue for an infill, but having been poorly and all the stupid stuff going on lately, I just haven't had a chance. These are the little bails we're going to use, and these nails do actually make it quite hard to do this sort of thing as well. I'll zoom you back in. The bail is basically, this is what they call a stirrup bail because it looks like a little stirrup. So we've got to make a hole for that bit to go through. And the way I'm going to do that is stand it on that spare heart that we made, because I don't mind drilling a hole in that by accident. There we go. And we're just going to drill a hole straight through. Now watch your fingers if you do this. Oh, actually, I'm going to put it in the corner. Let's be different, shall we? By the way, a little bit of wood is probably a better idea to stand your piece on, because then you can just go straight through into the wood. Now, we have more mess to clean up, but aside from that, we've got a hole. We are going to open up our little clasp. Bail, sorry, that's the correct word, isn't it? Here it comes. I'm just going to get a couple of little pairs of pliers and pull it open like that. We are going to push that through that little hole and squeeze. And if we need to squeeze a bit more, we can just go ta-da. Now this one has already got a loop to go onto the chain. Obviously, as you can see, it's ended up being double-sided because we dome both sides. But look, it's already got the little loop on it, so it can go straight onto my little chain. There we are. So I hope you enjoyed me playing with ultraviolet curing resin with really a pretty close replica. One of the very first, let's say one of the very first makes that I made when I started my YouTube channel for these crafts. And let me know, is there anything else you'd like me to put on the list of my first, last, best, whatever you think? I look forward to seeing you for the next video. And if you like this one, YouTube thinks you'll like this one next. Enjoy.